Welcome to the fourth episode of the This Week in SCC Sports Podcast. I'm your host, the voice of the Saints, Brandon Karam, SCC Class of 2020. We have a great show here today. We have a lot of sports to talk about. We have boys soccer, golf, girls soccer, and volleyball. So let's get right into it. First, we're going to start with boys soccer. They lost 2-1 to Berlin in a home game. Now, this game, I was there. It was a complete disaster. The rain was coming down so hard. The field was an absolute mess. And there was mud everywhere. Really hard-fought game by our guys. Fell behind 2-0 in the first half. Second half looked a little better. Jackman added a goal, but just not enough. I think that the conditions really cost us in this game. It just seemed like our style of play, which is quick passing through the middle and big long balls over the top, just didn't work because of the mud. And our defense was, they were okay, but I think the conditions really cost us. In the second half, they called the game 20 minutes before the game was supposed to end because the conditions were so bad. I believe that they probably could have came back and tied it, but then again, you never know. But we're going to chart that up as a loss and a goal for Jackman. Also, I don't know. I just think that it was just a bad game for our guys to be playing in. Second game of the week was at Cambridge. They lost 1-0. I wasn't there, but from what I've heard, it was just a really, not hard, but like a gritty game and just a goal scored late in the second half. It seems like all the goals that get scored against us are late in the second half or really early in the first half. But again, that's a tough loss because coming into this week, they were first in the division, looking to maybe secure that, but what are you going to do? On Saturday, they finished up the tournament in the third place game. The first round, they lost to Bishop McGinn. That was last week. They lost 4-2. They played Loudonville Christian. This was a hard-fought game, I'm telling you. They had no Dante Marin, no Luke Appy, and no Nick Condry. So that's three starters that they did not have for the game. And on top of that, they only had 11 players. So they had no substitutes. First half, both teams didn't really have that many chances. There was a lot of kickball in the middle of the field. Second half is where the game really opened up. Both teams had multiple chances, but great plays by both goalies, Preston Famiglietti, and I'm not sure of the goalie on the other team, on Loudonville Christian, but he made some incredible saves. So to have no subs, have to play the full game, then have it be 0-0 at the end of regulation. Now the way that high school soccer works is for the overtime you do 2 10-minute periods, and if you're still tied at the end, you go to penalty kicks. Well, they were still tied. So it's an 80-minute regular game plus another 20. So that's 100 minutes of our guys with no breaks besides halftime and the halftime of the extra time. And then it gets to penalty kicks. We didn't miss a penalty kick. I believe Loudonville Christian missed 2. But our penalty kick takers were Jack Munn, Ryan McCarroll, Ben Urbatis, and I believe that's it. But it was just a great game, I thought, all around. A huge win. And no Coach Simpson there either. Coach Massey was coaching. But I think that's a huge win over a team that was very well matched compared to us. Now on to golf. Today, actually, Monday the 1st, they competed in the Wasserman League Invitational and got third place out of 9 teams. Not bad. Now, most of the time, the golf team, they play 9 holes, but in the Wasserman League Invitational, it's 18. So we sent 4 golfers, Terrell Tillman, Jack Costantino, Jake Welcome, and Garrett Quinn. Terrell shot an 87. Jack Costantino shot a 90, Jake Welcome shot a 91, and Garrett Quinn shot a 93. All solid scores on a very hard Troy Country Club course. And to get third, which is what we expected because they did tie the league championship with Greenwich and Hoosick Falls, and that's the 2 schools that was ahead of them today. So I think that's just a great performance by our guys. Tomorrow is sectionals. Terrell and Jake Welcome are competing. I think that they're going to compete well. I'm not sure about any other golfers in the section, but expect a finish for those two right in the middle, just like how they have been. On the girls' soccer, they lost to Hoosick Falls 6-1. Alexa Herkamp scored a goal. And this game, the girls they only had 10 players, so they really didn't play bad. I mean, only having 10 players with no subs is very hard, but I thought that they played well. Don't let the score define what actually happened in the game, because you don't know that they were a player short and no subs. On to volleyball. Today, the first again, the JV team lost to Tamarack 2-1. I liked what I saw from the JV team. They have a lot of young talent who I think is going to help the varsity next year and in the years to come. And I was at the varsity game, but I left, and it's still ongoing right now, but they won the first set. And wow, I completely underestimated how talented this team is. Coach Izo, she subs in and out a lot of the girls really fast, and we're still very talented. I thought that losing Grace Fornabia and Ani Crocker was going to be two huge losses, but it seems like the girls really just fit in well into their places. Sure, it's obviously a loss, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So that game is still ongoing now. From what I know, it's not over with. So that's about it for this week in the This Week in SCC Sports Podcast. Once again, I'm your host, the voice of the Saints, Brandon Karam, and I'll see you next week on YouTube, so stay tuned.